Hello friends! In this video we will talk about verbs, conjugations and tenses in Armenian language. Let's get started. When we talk about verbs in Armenian, you can clearly separate two distinct classes. Verbs which end on l, like sirel, and verbs which end on al, like kartal. In this case, sirel, to love, and kartal, to read. And that's it. There are no exceptions and is pretty much as simple as that. Now, obviously you have some irregular and regular verbs like in any other language, but I'm going to consider only the regular ones for this video to not make it too complicated for you. The only exception would be the verb to be, since it's used to form certain tenses in Armenian language, so I can't skip it. But this would be the only exception for that. When it comes to tenses and verb forms, the Armenian language has a huge variety, but we will focus on the following four: simple present, future, simple past, and present perfect. So let's get started with the most basic time, simple present. Let's see how we can form a verb to say I love or he loves. As I've told you before, we have to have a look at the irregular verb to be, since this is a part of the conjugation for example, in this case, simple present. Here is a table for the verb to be. Linel. I am, yes, am, you are, du, es, he, she, it, is, na, e, we are, menk, enk, you are, duk, ek, they are, նրանք, են. Two information here. In Armenian, you do not differentiate between he and she. You just have one word na for both of the sexes, and you can also skip the pronouns. Because the conjugation is specific to each person, you don't have to name it explicitly. So if in Armenian you could say theoretically, I read a book, but you could also say read a book, and it will be understood that it's I that read a book in this case. Let's see how we can form a simple present. We will simply take the infinitive form of the verb, in this case read, kartal, and we will get rid of the ending al, which would be the specific ending for verbs, and we will just delete it. Then we are left with the stem of the word, of the verb in this case, kart. Then we will add and we will have kartum, and then we will add the conjugated version of the verb to be for a specific person. For my case, if I want to say I read, I would say kartum em. I could say yes, kartum em, I read, but I could also skip the pronoun I and I would just say read. And you would still understand that it's me that I'm talking about. So it's yes, kartum em, the complete sentence, or kartum em. And one more thing here, you would keep the word kartum and the conjugated version of the verb to be separately in written form. Now let's have a look at this table. I will just read it as an example for you, how you would pronounce the conjugated versions for each person. For the verbs love and read, the verb love would go the following way. Sirum em, sirum es, sirum e, sirum enk, sirum ek, sirum en. And the verb kartal, read, would sound like this. Kartum em, kartum es, kartum e, kartum eng, kartum ek, kartum en. Now let's move on to the next tense. Simple future. In English it would be I will read. We will form this future tense in a similar fashion as the present one, with using the verb to be. Let's have a look at the verb read. Kartal. In this case, we are not getting rid of any part of the verb. Instead, we are adding just one letter, u. We will have the verb in the following form, kartalu. And then we will add the conjugated form of the verb to be. So, the whole construction would look like this. Kartalu em. In this case again, you will write kartalu together and em separately. So we will have kartalu em. Again, let's have a look at our table, and I will just read from top down 2 verbs in Armenian. The first one, love, sirel. Sirelu em, sirelu es, sirelu e, sirelu eng, sirelu ek, sirelu en. And the second verb, kartal. Kartalu em, kartalu es, kartalu e, kartalu eng, kartalu ek, kartalu en. I hope you are not overwhelmed yet, and I can continue with the next one, the simple past. In this case, we have a different approach for the verbs which end with L and the ones which end with al. Simple present is a little bit more complicated, and there are lots of exceptions and specific rules for some verbs, but I decided to keep it simple for the majority of them. So let's start with the verb love, sirel, which ends with L. To form the simple past for this verb, we will again delete the ending of the verb L, and then we will add the simple past ending, a syllabus, ets. Now we have siret, and we are going to add another Armenian letter, E, at the end to form the simple past. So we will have an ending E for the first person, and then it will differentiate depending on who is talking. We will conjugate the verb sirel following way for the simple past. Siretsi, siretsir, siretsing, siretsik, siretsim. Again, we can leave out the person if we are using the verb, because you have just one specific ending per pronoun, so it's understandable who you are talking about. Now let's have a look how we can conjugate the verb kartal for the simple past. The difference between kartal and sirel is the ending al, and this is basically the second type of the verbs in Armenian. There is a slight difference how we form a simple past for these verbs. That's why I included them separately. So again, we will get rid of the ending of the verb and leave the stem, which would be kart. We will add again the ats instead of ets in this case, because it's a verb with a-l at the end, so we will add a-c at the end, so a-ts, and then we will have kartats at this point, and we will add again the endings, which we already know from the verb sirel. Now we'll have the following verbs in conjugated forms. Kartatsi, kartatsir, kartats, kartatsing, kartatsik, kartatsim. Now I have a table for you to compare both of these verbs in their conjugated forms. You can pause the video, have a look at them. If you have any specific questions, let me know in the comments. We are already at the present perfect, almost at the finish line, I'm going to explain the two verbs love and read in the present perfect, which is I have loved, I have read in English. For this, we are going to use the conjugation of the verb to be in simple present. You are already familiar with this conjugation. We used it at the very beginning of this video, so this is nothing new. Now let's have a look how we could form the present perfect for the verb sidel or love. Again, we will get rid of the ending of the verb el, and then we will add the present perfect ending. In this case, it's again el. So we will have again sidel, and then we will add the verb to be, but conjugated. So to sum it up, for the verbs that end with el, in this case, for the verb love, sidel, we will have the present perfect such as sidel em again. The verb sidel would be written together, and the verb to be in a conjugated form would be written separately. Now let's have a look at the word kartal, which is to read in English. You would expect in this case that you would just simply delete the infinitive ending of the word, in this case al, and then simply add el plus the conjugated form of the verb to be. Like for the case sidel, it would be el and em. But no, sadly this would be too easy. Without getting too much into complicated grammar, I will just say that the verbs that end with al form the present perfect a little bit differently than the verbs that end with el. Let's have a look at this case. In this case, we will get rid of the ending al, and then we will add another syllable here, which is the ats that you already know from the simple past stem. After that, you proceed in the same way for the verbs with the ending el. So we would have gart, ats, el, em. Again, gartatsel, em. Gartatsel, em. As in other forms you've seen so far, the verbs that you would create with the help of the verb to be would be written together, and then to be, the conjugated form of to be, would be written separately. Now let's have a look at the table. I will read all the verbs in the conjugated form for the present perfect for you. And if you have any specific questions regarding this tenses in Armenian language, let me know. I know this was a lot. So let's start with the verb love. Sidel em, sidel es, sidel e, sidel enk, sidel ek, sidel en. Now the verb kartal, read. Kartatsel em, kartatsel es, kartatsel e, kartatsel enk, kartatsel ek, kartatsel en. That was it. I know it was a lot. If anything was not clear, let me know. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. See you in the next video. Have a lovely day. Bye!